Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah. I hope that you are all doing well. Today I have some fun stuff to show you. I got to go to a Travelers Company Stamp Caravan event at Good Postage, which is a stationery store in Charlotte, North Carolina. My husband Daniel and I took the trip to Charlotte and we kind of planned it around the Stamp Caravan. We had been wanting to take a trip to Charlotte, but the Stamp Caravan really sealed the deal in terms of when we were gonna go. Yeah, so I thought it would be fun to walk you through the pages in my memory keeper, and that will kind of give you a little bit of a glimpse of what our trip was like. And then I also took some video clips of the trip, and especially in Good Postage, so I'll insert those here and there while we go through my pages. And lastly, I obviously have a haul to share with you of the stuff I bought at Good Postage. I forgot to mention this earlier, but Good Postage is one of only like 10 Travelers Company partner stores that are in North America, so there's really not very many. And I was so shocked when I saw that there was one only 3 hours away from me. That seemed crazy. Like, I really thought that I would need to travel to like New York City or LA to even go to any kind of like Travelers Caravan event, so it was really fun to get to experience that. So I just wanted to like add that in really quick because I thought that was kind of a cool and interesting thing. And if you are located in the US, then I think it's helpful. I'll link the I know that there's like a Google Maps like map out of all of the stationery stores, and then it's on Travelers Company's website as well, so I will link those below. I will have the timestamps in the description, and I will also try to link everything I mention specifically to Good Postage website where I can. So these are the pages from our trip. I am trying to think of like the most concise way to tell you about this because I don't want it to be boring. But basically my husband and I took the train from Raleigh to Charlotte, and that was kind of what sparked this whole idea for the trip. Was it sounded fun to not have to drive somewhere and be able to use alternate transportation, I guess, other than cars. So yeah, the train was really nice. It was very comfortable, and my husband ended up playing a video game the whole time, and I tried to journal for a little bit, but it was very bumpy. In the extra footage I took, I stabilized things so that it wouldn't be so like motion sickness inducing when you watch it. But yeah, I ended up just kind of like looking out the window and watching the trees go by while I listened to an audiobook, so it was very enjoyable. Once we arrived in Charlotte, we had brought our like electric vehicles. I have a scooter and my husband has an electric skateboard. So we rode those to an area called Camp North End, which is a old automobile factory, I believe, that was kind of transformed into, it's almost like a whole neighborhood community. There's housing and there's restaurants and stores and all kinds of stuff, and it's very beautifully designed where there's so much nature and plants. Everything is, all the pathways are quite overgrown, so it feels like you're in another world almost. Yeah. So I printed out the Camp North End logo, the Amtrak logo, and then any text that's in the black letter font I printed out. I made myself these sticker sheets. This one kind of got a little messed up, but yeah, I liked the way they turned out. I just did double of them because that's what fit on a single page and I didn't want to waste any, and I figured I might use double. They turned out quite well. Oh yeah, so I'm trying to like I'm trying to remember everything that I need to mention. This little blue ticket was on the train. The guys who were coming through to like check your ticket, they would like scan your ticket and then put this in a little slot above your seat. And I immediately had clocked it and been like, I'm taking one of those for sure when we leave. I don't know if it was like marking what your stop was or if it was marking that you had shown your ticket, but I didn't want to take it out early or anything. And then before we even arrived in Charlotte, they removed them, and I was like, dang it. And I assumed it was because they reused the tickets, but I really wanted one. And then as we were getting off the train, I saw one on the floor, and I was like wrangling my scooter and my bag and everything. So I couldn't like bend down to get it as we were all like getting off the train. And so I like turned to my husband and I was like, please try to pick that up. And he managed it. So I got to include that and I'm really happy about it. What else? So after we got off the train, we went to a little food stall called Egg Roll. And it was so tasty. I printed off a picture, but I'll put one up on the screen too because it was just so good. And I had forgot our snacks on the train, so I was literally dying. I want to say that we got off the train at 2 o'clock and I hadn't eaten anything or had any water that day, so I needed food ASAP. Once we got to Camp North End, we went to this coffee shop called Hex, and it was so beautiful. The shop had these like huge windows where you could just see the greenery outside, and it was really stunning. My husband had some work that he needed to finish up, so we kind of hung out there for a while, and I just journaled. I started this page. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then we were able to check into our Airbnb, which was good because there was rain coming, and since we had brought our scooters, there was a risk of us getting caught in the rain. And obviously I think I probably could have made it on my electric scooter. It's probably a little safer to ride than a skateboard is to ride. We checked into the Airbnb, and while we were there, the rain kept getting postponed further and further. And I was like, I'm just not comfortable going out. So we DoorDashed Curry House. My husband hates DoorDashing food. I get it because the prices are hiked up and like it does feel like a little bit of a waste of money sometimes. But I was like, we are on vacation and I don't want to get caught in the rain. And I'm so glad that we did DoorDash it because it poured rain so hard that the driveway from the Airbnb was like a river. Like it was flooded. It was really crazy. But I saved a bit of ephemera from Currygate, which was the restaurant that we got. And then I used these two Megan Rhiannon printable stickers, just a little rain cloud and a little planner. So that was the end of day 1. And then on day 2 was the Stamp Caravan. I'll kind of come back to going to the stationery store because I want to spend more time on that and I want to just like be able to camp out on there for a while. So anyways, so that was Thursday, and then this is Friday. We started with breakfast at Hex, which was the same coffee shop we went to. We had to wait around for a little bit for all of the stores to open up. A lot of them didn't open up until 10 or 11. So we kind of just wandered around the Camp North End area. They had like a pickleball court, and I think it was called the Tipsy Pickle. It was like a bar / pickleball court. It looked really fun. But we also found like a ping pong table outside of a bookstore, and there was a vending machine, like a gumball machine to get the ping pong balls out of. But we found a ping pong ball and the paddle, and we played that for a little bit. I obviously lost. I thought I had a chance, but then very quickly it went downhill. Yeah, I think that's everything from that morning. We went to Good Postage, so that's kind of a glimpse. I'll quickly finish the timeline so that we can come back to Good Postage. And then after Good Postage, we went back to Hex. We basically lived at this coffee shop. It was very comfortable and it was open every time we needed something. So that's what we did. This sticker is from Untitled Paintings. It's another printable. I got an iced matcha because it was so hot. We really did need to cool off after being in Good Postage because it was just like so humid and hot. And I think you can see that in some of the footage even, that it's just very humid. But we ended up having to rush back to our Airbnb because the forecast called for rain and there were some like super dark clouds that were brewing. So we rushed back. We had planned to go back out for dinner and do a bit more exploring, but the rain kept getting delayed, and after the giant rainstorm that we had had the night before, we didn't want to risk it again. So we ended up doing DoorDash again, but this time we just got some groceries. That way we would have snacks for the train. I couldn't decide what I wanted to eat. So I ended up getting Hot Pockets, which I think is really funny, but I never eat Hot Pockets and they're so nostalgic to me. And yeah, I added these little stickers in. I just printed off pictures of the packaging of stuff we got. And then yeah, I ended up journaling for a bit at night. And then the next day was Saturday. We got coffee at Hex once again, and then we headed back to the train station. So that's kind of the complete story in all of my pages. That's the last page in the Charlotte trip timeline. But now we can kind of talk more about Good Postage and the Stamp Caravan. So Good Postage is a stationery store located in Charlotte, North Carolina, as I previously mentioned. It is owned by like a mother-daughter team, which is precious, I think. It was really cute. The sign out front like hangs from a pencil and it is amazing. And then they often like host events, so if you ever plan a visit, you should totally check out their Instagram or like the events page on their website to kind of plan your trip around, because I think, like, I know they do drunk journaling, which is like a journaling meetup, and I've seen them do like charm bars and all kinds of things. I even think on their Instagram they were doing like, I don't know, I saw like a tattooing of the TN covers, so I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, they had a lot of like art supplies, fountain pens, inks, lots of journals. I know I saw Hobonichi, Traveler's Company, obviously, Archer and Olive, stuff like that. There were not a ton of stickers or like sticker sheets that I saw, but I did see like a small bin, and there was also like a bin with, or like a little basket of washi tapes, and I did buy one, which is a little sneak peek at my haul. So when I got to the store, I went in and looked around for a few seconds, and before like one of the workers, I think it actually might have been one of the owners, asked if I was there for the Stamp Caravan. So you had to go behind the counter. I had brought a few different things that I was planning to stamp. If you are kind of like have been around my channel for any length of time, you might be wondering what TNs I had to stamp. But I do actually use 2 traveler's notebooks on a weekly basis. This is my wallet. I've got a little sunburst charm on there and a little mustard seed charm that is from a necklace that my grandma gave me when I graduated from high school. Inside, I've just got, it's kind of dirty, gross. Inside, I have a clear zip pouch insert that I keep various bits of things in, including change. And I have a little sticker on there from Redbubble that says "Calm the Frick Down," and it's got some chamomile growing in an herbal tea tin. I tend to stick receipts on here that I don't always end up keeping. Like, I think I'll put it in my journal, but I don't always. So that's why that is still there. I could probably take that off. And then I keep one like notebook insert in here. It's mostly used for like grocery lists, but occasionally I will use it for notes if I need it. But I'm getting close to the end of that. So I brought this, obviously. And then in the back, I'm not going to show you, but I've got, man, this thing is dirtier than I thought it was. And then in the back, I have my ID and debit cards and stuff like that, along with some coupons and There's even a little bit of cash right there. So that's everything that's there. I brought this in to stamp. I just ended up stamping the cover of it, I think. Oh yeah, and I did like 2 little stamps there. So I stamped that. And then this is my other TN in the standard size. This is actually a Moterm cover. It's not the Travelers Company branded one, but it has a brass duber. I don't know what these are called. Like on the actual Travelers Company cover, it's like a pewter one. I kind of think I prefer the brass, but that's fine. Anyways, the other thing is that this one, the band comes out of the side, like the spine of the book, whereas Travelers Company comes out of the back. So this is kind of my spiritual growth notebook, I would call it. I keep 2 notebook inserts, and then I have a like brown paper folder insert. There's nothing like particularly interesting kept in here. I do keep a little pencil board that's like a week size, and I've got a sticker from Aragon Asuli. And yeah, the first notebook is really just sermon notes or Bible study notes of my own studies, you know. And then I won't really show you on this one, but this is my prayer journal. So this doesn't, because it's so personal, it doesn't really get a lot of time on my channel, but I do use this on a weekly basis. So that's my defense for being interested in Travelers Company. I feel like even if you don't use Travelers Company, it's still fun to see the stamps and get to like participate in a stationery event. So yeah, so that's like, those were 2 of the things I had brought to stamp, and I obviously was going to stamp in my journal as well. There were so many stamps that it was a little bit overwhelming. I did stamp a page in my Sterling Ink Common Planner, which is my memory keeper, as I've mentioned. I also brought my Hobonichi Weeks, since it was small enough that I could bring it along. It's not like the most amazing page or anything, but it was fun to get to stamp, and I kind of want to print off a picture of the shop and maybe add some of the stickers from these little sheets that I've got in here. I haven't really touched it since we went on the trip, so that will be fun to finish those pages. I totally didn't think of this until I was there, but I so wish I had brought like a plain canvas tote to stamp. I think it would have been really cute. Even this little canvas pouch is very dirty at the moment, but this was all I brought in terms of like stationery stuff because I was traveling on a scooter essentially. So if I had like emptied this out and brought it with me, I could have stamped that and it would have had cool stamps on it. I don't know, I wish I had done that. I think it would have been really fun. But even then, but back to the story. I took forever to stamp, and thankfully there was no one else there at the time, so I could really take my time, and I stamped every single stamp that they had. There was a mixture of stamps that were specifically from Good Postage and then the Caravan stamps. For example, like this little bow, the fountain pen nib, this flower, the snake, and then this logo. Those are all Good Postage specific stamps. All the rest of them are Travelers Company. And then this one was the first one I stamped, and I accidentally pressed it down twice because I didn't think it actually pressed the first time. But that is the Partner Store stamp. You can see it on the back of that paper. That's kind of a cleaner one. And then there were also these stamps. I think I have doubles of them. Yeah. But this Hobonichi Life book, Love Good Postage, that was the only one that did not fit onto this like main page. So yeah, I stamped all of these. I don't think my husband realized that I was going to be stamping this many stamps. I think in one of the clips he says like, oh wow, that's a lot of stamps. So it was fun.
That's a lot of stamps.
I know, I'm just stamping them all on one page because I need to see them all.
We had someone yesterday stamp an entire sheet of tissue paper.
I saw that on your Instagram. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to mention about it. I really love the Stamp Caravan stamp. I like the little camel on top of it and the actual stamp. I really loved the visit pass. And then I think Good Postage just had such cute stamps. The bow is stunning, and the snake is such a cute one too. It did bleed quite badly through the paper. You can kind of see it here. Unfortunately, I had already done this page and I didn't think about it bleeding through, so it kind of is a little muddled. It's not too bad though, you can totally still read. But when it came to this side of the page, I decided to put down some brown sticker paper just to kind of cover up the messiness of the bleeding stamps. And then I just added a few photos in from shopping at the store. Oh yeah, and I also printed out the logo of Good Postage. I didn't know what I all needed to stamp, but I ended up just kind of putting them randomly on the blank pages that I had. And then this is also, I stamped a lot right there, and so that's why there's brown paper on that side as well. This was a photo from the Stamp Caravan with like all of the stamps. And then this is my shopping basket. So after I did all of the stamping, I focused on shopping more. It was so fun to see things in person that I've only seen online before. I feel like shopping in person is such a different experience than shopping online. And obviously, like, we can't always have access to things when there's more of a niche interest. Yeah, it was just really cool. I got to see some Delphonics pouches in person, which was good for me because I really want to like make a dupe, and it made me feel a little bit more confident, like holding it in my hands and unzipping it and feeling how it felt. But yeah, I felt like even though I probably spent an hour looking around at everything, I still missed things. And it was really hard to like decide what I wanted to get and what I wanted to like splurge on. I had made a wish list, which I'll try to show you, but I need to block out one of the pages. Okay. Yeah, I made like a little wish list of things that I wanted. I basically wanted to get some passport inserts and maybe some standard ones. A clampy clip. I was on the lookout for washi tape. A small metal ruler. I kind of wanted to see what ink they had. There were some really cute hot dang press iron-ons that I was really interested in. And then I also wanted some like brass charms from Superior Labor, or no. It was Baumkuchen and Traveler's Company. So those were kind of things I was looking for. I totally forgot about the metal ruler. I don't know. I just don't think I did like a super good job at even thinking about my wish list for the most part. But that being said, I don't think I did a bad job with what I bought. So let's talk about the haul. So to start with, I bought a few inserts. I've taken them out of their plastic packaging just so that we don't have like an obnoxious reflection, but I bought 2 of the grid refills and I did end up stamping them. Like, I went back after I made my purchases to stamp. So this one I just did the Good Postage Partner Shop stamp. And I'm excited to have grid paper. In my current wallet, I just have the insert that the cover came with, and so it's blank, and I'm looking forward to having a grid. It's gonna kind of change up the vibe to have green though. That's kind of interesting. kind of wish I had stamped the cover of it, but honestly I didn't think about it at the time. So that is that one. I got the snake stamp on this one. Oh, give me a second. I think we might be overexposed. Okay. I think that's a little better. What was I saying? Oh yeah. I stamped the snake. So cute. That was probably one of my favorite stamps. I think it's really adorable. And then I also got a standard size insert just because I knew I was coming to the end of my notes insert in my spiritual growth book. This one, I just stamped the little red ribbon, and then I did a Traveler's Company one right there. I felt like it was hard to make the decisions of what I was going to stamp and not stamp, and like which ones I wanted to stamp. It was a little bit of like a free-for-all for me. And then in the back, I just like threw some random stamps on. This one feels a little bit more chaotic. Like, at least this feels a little mindful and purposeful. So that was the first three things that I bought. Next, I actually got the refill binder for Traveler's Company. I love this concept. I think it's going to look beautiful on a shelf. I especially love the idea of archiving my prayer journals. I think that will be really meaningful to look back on. I also, like, this was more of an impulse purchase because I saw that they had them and I was like, you know, I think I'm going to get one of those. Because I've been eyeing them online, but I've never pulled the trigger on it. But I know I'm about to finish my first standard size insert, so it will go in there and can sit on my shelf perfectly. I did stamp the inside of this just to have like some extra stamps. I don't know. I was just manically stamping, I think. And then I stamped on the inside of here as well. I don't really know what I was thinking. I just figured that on the inside it would be chill to stamp and I wouldn't really care if it didn't look perfect. So I just stamped randomly. And then I thought about stamping on the outside, but I thought that if I messed it up, it might annoy me to have on my shelf. Because I kind of wanted to like stamp on the spine. But like maybe the little ribbon on the spine would be really cute. But I just decided against that. So that is the fourth thing I purchased. Yeah, so we've got 3 inserts and this. Oh yeah, I did forget to mention with the inserts. They had a special going where if you bought 3 inserts, you got a sticker. For some reason, I was thinking that Traveler's Town was this year's theme, but then I remembered that was last year's theme. I want to say I did something else goofy with it too, where I put a Traveler's Town theme. I might have done it in my hobby journal, in my Hobonichi weeks, but yeah, so I liked this design the best, so I ended up getting this one. Maybe I'll put it on one of these inserts, but yeah, so I got these 3 and then was able to get a little Traveler's Company sticker, so that was kind of fun. And then the last Traveler's Company related item that I purchased was the 2025 diary stickers. I took them out of the packaging again so we wouldn't have a glare, but I wanted these all from when they mentioned them. I was like, those are beautiful. I love this green sticker and the blue one. This like dove and the swallow. I think it's really cute. I mean, I like more than just that, but I just could never justify buying it online. But then when I saw them in person, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should get them. So yeah, that's what I purchased. I felt like it was appropriate considering it was a Traveler's Company event. I really love these icon stickers. I think they're really cute. There's even some train ones. I need to add those into some of my pages. But yeah, so I'm really excited about these. I don't know what I'll use these for. And I don't know if I'll use those necessarily, but I love these. And I feel like, generally speaking, these are the ones that I'm like, yeah, super happy about all of those. These are the ones I'm unsure about. So that is the last of the Travelers Company items. Next, I bought this little A6 all-purpose case, I guess. I think it's called a general purpose case. I don't know how to pronounce this, so I'm not gonna try. I think I've heard people calling them high-tide cases, but it's just a perfect little pouch that I'm planning to use for ephemera when I go on trips. And I even did, maybe I need to add that in. I feel like I, maybe somewhere over here. Anyways, I don't need to worry about that right now. I did like add ephemera in here for the rest of the trip. It was very useful. I already love it. I know that there's like a Hobonichi case that is very similar to this that I really wanted, but I tend to have sweaty hands, so I thought that I would not like the feeling of it. And I think that is confirmed in this. Also, it already feels like it's gotten a little grimy. So I don't think I would want to have this case for something that I am constantly interacting with, but I think it's perfect for keeping a few things in that I would grab every now and then, if that makes any sense. I hope that doesn't sound like I regret the purchase or anything like that, because that's not what I mean by that. I just mean like I think it is, the use case for it is perfect in this little, the use case for this is perfect in a little general use pouch, not in a planner cover, is basically what I'm trying to say. I also got a clampy clip. I really wanted the cream one, but they did not have that. And I was a little unsure of what color to go for. I think I just tend to fall for cream most of the time, and it's like a safe bet that I know I'm gonna love. So the next closest thing to cream was the glow in the dark one. I really liked the green text with the glow in the dark color. So that's the one I went with. I really do like it. I think it's cute and it will serve the purpose that I need it to. So that's gonna be good. I don't know. I just was thinking about hanging it on the wall and then like hanging art from it, and that might be kind of cute to do. So we'll see. But that is the next thing I bought. Perhaps the most boring thing that I bought. Oh yeah, I forgot that I was setting on this page. Okay. Perhaps the most boring thing I got is this converter for the Lamy Safari. If you missed it, in my last two videos I mentioned my new fountain pen. So I am planning to buy ink. I've narrowed down to a few inks that I am thinking about getting from Van Ness, and hopefully I will be purchasing those soon. But we will see. I'm trying to be careful and not just like buy too many and then have inks that I'm never going to use. So I got this in preparation for having new inks. And then last but definitely not least, I actually made a huge purchase. At least it's huge for me. I got a new fountain pen, which I was not planning to buy. I thought about putting it on my like little wish list, but I was like, you know, I'm not going to, because I don't think I'm gonna buy it. I don't need it. But when I was there, I saw that they had them like out in person so I could really look at it. And this TWSBI Eco has been on my wish list for maybe 2 years, honestly. I think it's at least been a year and a half, but it might have gone into the 2-year mark. So here she is. I got the TWSBI Eco in cream and rose gold. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful pen. It feels wonderful. Oh man, I love it. I got the extra fine nib. The lady who was working, the girl at the counter, told me that she had this pen and that she loved it, and I was like, oh, what nib size do you have? And she was like, a medium. And a medium scared me. I know that I love writing with the Lamy Safari in extra fine, so maybe it was unwise of me to get another extra fine. I think it would be probably more helpful to have like various size nibs so I have different use cases, but I don't know. I just wanted, like, I felt like this could be my everyday use pen, and so I wanted it to be in a nib size that I know I love. I know it doesn't like show the ink qualities as much, but I think that will be fine. Oh, it's so beautiful. I'm so excited to put ink in here. This is making me really want to order the ink that I'm trying to decide on. Oh, it's beautiful. I'm so happy. I was looking at it and I was like, no, I can't buy that. I think it was $60, which, that's so insane to me. Like, I know fountain pens can be quadruple that, quite honestly, but my husband was like, get it, you deserve it. You should get it. So he was kind of like hyping me up and ended up buying it for me. So he's sweet and I'm really excited to have this. I really, really need to get some ink for it now. So that is the last thing I bought. I will put this back in its little case so that I don't scratch it or anything until I can have ink for it. I know that that haul for some would seem very extravagant and for others probably doesn't seem like anything at all. But for me it felt good. I didn't feel like I was going crazy and just like adding things into my cart willy-nilly. I think if I was doing that I might have, like, I was really tempted to buy an A5 Hobonichi cover for my cousin, but if you've watched my last video you know that me and my cousin are fighting right now. And a little bit of me was like, it would be fixed if I had a really good cover for it. But that I knew was a lie, so I did not buy a Hobonichi cover, but they had them there and it was really cool to see them in person. I don't know. There was a lot of things that I feel like I could have picked up. Oh, I did forget to mention that we also bought my husband a Hobonichi A6 notebook. I meant to grab that from him before I started this video, but I totally forgot to. So maybe I will try to insert a photo of it if I remember to. He was like, I'm looking for a small notebook to carry around with me. So we found him a notebook, which was kind of fun. He got to participate in my hobby a little bit. So that was cool. Yeah. I guess I'm just rambling at this point. So thank you all so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you.